let me just say this.
It's always no. Can we get Ty in there? Because y'all gonna keep going and going and going.
All right, Sweeney, just let us go right after that because we want to get. Don't forget that. I want to see what Amir has to say
we'll put a
about that.
pin in it, but there's two people on this panel that haven't said anything in a while. That was Ty and Bo. So I'm trying to spread the word a little bit, y'all.
And I wanted to speak on the original topic too, so please remember.
Yeah, I'll cycle back around to y'all.
I'll be quick because I see everyone wants to really talk. I just really wanted to answer Sweeney's question. Yes, there personally have been in situations where I've been violated and I did not have a man who could come and protect me. I had women who could rally around me, who could give me comfort, who could tell me their stories about things that happened to them and how they empathize with the situation. But that has happened. Now, I also have had situations where men have been there to protect me, but I'm just saying it happens both ways, right? And to ask the question, Darwin, does that happen a lot? Yes. Does it happen a lot to one individual person? Maybe not, but across the board, as far as women are concerned, at some point, for most women in their lives, if you're just living a regular life, you know what I mean? Yes. And the first time something like that happened to me, I wasn't out in skimpy clothes. I was coming from work with ice cream on my clothes. I was in high school and I didn't have anybody to protect me in that moment. You know what I mean? So it definitely can happen. I don't know a solution to it because I also understand man not wanting to jump into every situation, because as much as we want man to protect us, they also have to value their own lives and analyze the situation and figure out, is it worth my life? And for a lot of men, if they're not connected to you, they don't feel that way, unfortunately, because it's too much of a risk. So, I mean, I understand it, but I don't know what the solution would be, because to Lachey, I don't want to say your name wrong.
Arm yourselves.
Laisha.
Arm yourself.
To Laisha's point, and she makes a point there, even if we created ourselves, right, to be the best picking out there, where do we go so that the right man would pick us or even be picked at all? Since even like in today's market, men are not necessarily picking wives, they're picking women to sleep with.
Ooh.
They picking somebody to deal with.
I would say this. I would say this, Ty. I think it's come to a point in society where you may have to go on the offense. And I mean not in offense in a bad way. I mean, you may have to initiate conversations. You may have initiate flirting. You might have to approach.
But now we're putting ourselves in a situation where it could be dangerous.
And that is the risk.
Because nobody is there to protect me. Now I'm going out my way to flirt with a strange man.
Flirt with a pistol. Flirt with a pistol on your hip.
Flirt with a pistol. So that's what we need to protect.
No, Ty. There's safe social places to do that, right? I would never recommend you just doing that to like a rando on the street. Don't do that shit.
Okay, I didn't say go out on the street and do it.
Yeah, social settings where there are, public spaces and stuff like that. Don't just start pushing up.
Go to networking events. Go to networking events.
That's the best way. I always tell people networking events. He's
go
right.
to fundraisers. You ever been to a fundraiser?
But so Amir, could you please answer the question real quick? I want to know if you. I think you said no, but could you elaborate and tell me what it is? What precautions are you taking to never end up in a situation like this?
I've been out in places where there's been guys who are like trying, as you guys said, quite to holler. Like, remember, I'm from New York, and in New York, there's a whole different culture.
Oh yeah,
and I've been in New York. I lived in New York. I grew up mostly in New York, and I've been out and I've been in places where men were in groups, and trying to talk to women and so on. I dress a certain way. I just dress a certain way. And believe it or not, me dressing a certain way does provide me a level of protection. It really does. Me dressing a certain way and acting a certain way. Also, the other thing is I don't go in certain areas where I know it could be an issue. Like if I need to get gas, I'm not going to stop at the gas station that has a bunch of guys standing outside. I'm not going to go to that one. I'm going to be smart as a woman and go somewhere where I know is going to be a bit safer for me. And most of the time I don't go out without, if I can, I take a man with me. I take my man, I take my brother-in-law, I take people with me, because as a woman, be smart, protect yourself, take your team, your crew, your safety net with you if you need to. So I mean, I haven't had that happen where I had to beg for help or ask for help. I've had guys say things to me, but you act a certain way. I act a certain way to them. And sometimes I act like I'm on the phone. Sometimes I act like I'm having a fight on the phone or something like that. Sometimes I'll say my husband is coming right now. My husband is right there in the car. Sometimes you just have to be smart. Just, yeah, I mean, but I'm not saying that it doesn't happen where women get assaulted and stuff like that. I'm not saying that, but in my case, that's what I've done.
Do you feel like you've gotten it right every single time?
I've never had to, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question.
What, in other words, what would you do, or have you ever realized that there's margin for error? Like,
yeah. Because if you say, so example, a guy's talking to you and you reject him, and then he gets attitude, like turns away, and he's like, oh, what? There's obviously margin for that. And that stuff happens as women. It happens where some guy, maybe he's drinking, maybe he doesn't know what he's doing, or maybe he's just an a-hole. But there's just certain ways that you have to work around it. I mean, I've only had that happen maybe like 3-4 times where the person has gotten rude or something, but never have I gotten rude back to him. Never have I just did certain things to get out of that situation.
Not what you could do better. More so what I'm saying is I guess here's me being cut and dry with you, very honest. Do you feel like you are in an area that has very aggressive men, like very aggressive men, very alpha, domineering men that would respond with, if you said, I have a husband, no thank you, they would respond with, well, we don't care about that. You can't have no friends? Because I bet you every single other woman on this panel could say that they have responded with, they have a husband. Even if that is a lie, sometimes you will say that to be like, get him away. And I can guarantee you any other woman on this panel has heard in response, I don't care. That mean you can't have friends. They keep the conversation going. I'm talking about dealing with persistent men. And it could be a cultural divide that we have now reached in this conversation. But what I'm telling you is that in my community, in a lot of these other people's community, there are men like that at the gas station, at the Walmart, in the mall, at the Target. We're not talking about we got dressed up salacious and went to the club. I'm saying we did normal activity, just like any other person should be able to do normal activity, male or female, and we were essentially made prey for a predatory man.
No, I get it. I get you completely. Maybe I just dress a certain way. Maybe I give off a certain energy. I don't know.
You said you've been arrested 3 or 4 times.
Oh no, Amira, you're right. You do dress it is a certain way to dress. They're not counting for that. I don't know why they're being disingenuous. A lot
I mean,
of
also it could be because maybe it's because I'm not their race too. Because it could be a comfort thing where it's another woman of their same race that they feel like they can be more disrespectful. I don't know.
Amira, you know how they be dressing. You've seen them out there. You've been out there.
How you gonna say how they
Amira, you said was you in New York City?
Yeah.
What borough?
Brooklyn, Prospect Park.
Oh shit, Brooklyn? Yeah, they got all the aggressive men in the world over there. All the aggressive men in the world.
She said she's been harassed 3 or 4 times, though. I mean,
it was like 3 or 4 times where they would respond.
We're talking about danger, right? So she said it was no danger.
That 3 or 4 times. What were you referring to? The 3 or 4 times, Emerald? What was that?
You know how it is, like when you say like, "Oh, I'm no, thank you," or you keep going, and if somebody says like, "Oh, you have an echo, Ray. You have an echo." Where you say like, "No, I'm in a marriage," or something like that, and then they say, "Oh, so what?" Or what does that mean? I can be your friend, something like that, where they keep it going, just like Lashia said.
Do you wear yoga pants out, Amira?
No.
How many of y'all sisters wear yoga pants out?
To the gym.
Yellow pants.
I work out every day. Do you work out every day, Amira?
Yoga pants. Do y'all wear yoga pants?
You can cover yourself. I mean,
do you work out every day, Amira? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Like 3 times a week, but I cover my arse when I leave. I cover my
Well,
arse.
Amira did say she likes dressing like little.
Well, I also want to clarify that where I'm from specifically.
I live in LA. I go to the gym every day.
Wait a minute. Where I'm from specifically, white women actually dress more provocatively than black women, if you want to be for real, because we all know a white woman that walks around in her husband's or her boyfriend's or her best friend's oversized t-shirt with the shorts that you cannot even see underneath it and some sneakers, and they call that their comfy clothes. That's how they run to the grocery store. But if a black woman did that, that's provocative. Her butt's out.
We got too much booty. We got too much booty, girl.
Yeah, it's the body. It's the body.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the difference. It's not about the clothes.
It also might be y'all media interpretation as well of how y'all are. I mean, I'm just be honest with it. It's not in y'all advantage how y'all portray the media. That might also have
sure. So can I say something too? It's gonna be, so people keep saying I'm going to address Amira. I'm not, because she's absolutely right. I probably wouldn't visit that gas station ever in life. It's not my people, because it is my people, but just not my village. But I was past E. I had a choice to make. I didn't want to be on the side of the interstate either in the dark.